Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of the 8 Morning 92 podcast where we always keep it 100. You heard none of them sound effects, did you?
Nah.
Hey,
told y'all niggas I was gonna keep it street.
oh, then how you coming, Glock?
Pause.
Okay.
It's the 8 Morning 92 podcast. You know how we do. We always keep it 100. Yo, 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 yo. It's raining in podcast, my love. You should show up and listen to us talk. I know y'all don't give a fuck, but I'm gonna keep singing that drizzy up. There's some sexy podcasting for you to know. Give me a hug, 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 give me a hug.
Bang.
We do everything 100 because this is how we keep it. 8 Morning 92 podcast. I am your host, Harrison.
What, nigga? I'm Mitch, man. What's good?
As you can see, we have our blended hire today. Yes, we are doing a outreach program where we find homeless people and we find them on the streets begging for a Whataburger sandwich. And what we do is we try to give them a little bit of exposure right now. So we bring them on the quiet storm, mainly because most people are asleep and we don't have to worry about any liabilities. Yes, we found Mitch under the 474 bridge begging for a Mexican pizza. When I knew the brother was struggling his last dollar, he wanted to fuck up his guts on some Taco Bell. I knew it was my job to help that brother. Mitch, won't you tell some people how did you get on this story? As you can see, that bottle is a dual bottle. Its surface is for juice and piss. So that will be his bathroom as he finishes that bottle today. Mitch, how are you today in your recovery?
Very much so not homeless.
Okay.
And not eating Mexican pizzas.
Okay. It's okay, brother. This is a safe space.
You know, my system is intact. Pause. You got the button back. Go ahead.
Hey man, look, we're not even rushing. We're not even rushing to get those buttons, brother. This is a recovery program. We just want to know, how did you have to fight day in, day out for shelter? Please let us know, brother. Bum fights, squabble outs, the constant need just to find a piece of newspaper big enough for a 6'7" ass nigga to get a little warm.
Hey man, you know, they call me the Vada champion, man. Anything under the bridge, sleeping shit, you know what I'm saying? Putting niggas to sleep, taking their boxes. Right.
And when you say taking a nigga's boxes,
no,
are you referring to their place of residences or are you referring to the butt, my brother?
Pause.
Okay, gotcha. So boxes could be a double entendre. Speaking of the battle raps that have been going on, it could have been a double entendre. Taking a box to get the box. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 8 Morning 92 podcast, where we always keep 100. We are back in studio today. As y'all can see, yes. Back on our bullshit.
Welcome back to this side of the country, man.
I know, man. It is good being on Eastern time, Western time. Other than sleep, West Coast time was not cool for me. But what has been up, man, since we last been here? We actually got a lot of updates to go from since the last time we was here. So I don't know if we'll chime into that after you get ready to tell us what you've been up to.
I ain't really been up to much, man. Shit. It's we did Mother's Day, Memorial Day weekend coming up.
Well, we did that episode.
Yeah. It ain't really. I've been chilling since then, man. Shit, I ain't really had much going on.
No, I want to say, so we had some updates from the last time that we recorded. Cassie went on trial and did exactly what I told y'all was going to happen. I sat there and said, just like mob wives to mob bosses, it's just no way that you can just be complicit on everything and not know anything was going on and not seeing it. So it seemed like Cassie was trying to get her freak off too. So she was a lot more complicit. Some updates. Meg just
Hey,
won't seem to let it go.
they ain't gonna tell you was right. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
no, it's always a
It's
reason.
gonna be justified.
It's always a reason. Then Meg just can't seem to let it go. A nigga got stabbed 14 times, and somehow because people bring it up, this nigga got punctured in the lungs, and somehow she felt there was a need for people to stop bringing her. You know what it is I'm pretty sure Chris Brown want people to stop bringing up Rihanna and him. They want him to stop bringing up him every time a random person whoops on a female. His
Yeah.
name gets brought up all the time. So I don't get why she thought she was going to be absolved of this when it was already kind of skeptical with the storytelling of everything that happened between the two of them. And in that she's not really liking none of the consequences that comes with being in that spotlight. I mean, it was already a shady story. It was already a lot of back and forth. And now that this man got 10 years and stabbed, it's almost like she forgets she keeps putting out petition for petition and petition and petition. I mean, it's just not helping the case because it wasn't a slam dunk case that everybody believed 100% that he shot you. And now with him being stabbed 14 times, I just feel that, that he'll, that, is for somebody who I get it that they're probably saying stuff to her, but she responds every time Tori's name comes up. So it's not like you can go that far without Meg herself chiming in on anything Tori. And so it's like you kind of play into it yourself to where if you just don't want it to go away, then just don't say nothing. I mean, nobody's making you get on social media. You could have a PR do. Nobody's making you do X, Y, and Z. I want to say it was either Selena Gomez or Demi Lovato took like a whole year off of social media, maybe more.
And
You don't have to be
didn't,
on there.
didn't somebody come forward saying that they had more evidence
It
against
was a
her?
bodyguard, but then the bodyguard shit sounded funny because he said he was there, but he said he heard Kelsey say that she did it. So it was just ironic. I don't know, it was a bunch of ironicness to it that the day after he got stabbed, then his lawyers had this evidence that could have released him. I don't know which part seems more funnier. I mean, more suspicious about it all, about the lawyer finding the information or him getting stabbed before the information got dropped. It just all seems shady, and she's just gonna ever be linked to it. Like I said, you can go to Chris Brown. He would like to not be linked to domestic violence in the African American community whenever somebody does
Especially
something.
after Rihanna publicly,
Hmm?
like I said, especially after Rihanna forgave him publicly, like
Yes, publicly, and they dated again. So, I mean, hell, even Carucci back with him. So, I mean, if the people that were the victims of it can get over it, I feel like those are the people that set the bar for moving on. But I can understand, if you don't want to move on, that's your choice. Some other stuff that happened. I don't think those only two that happened for as far as the update, right?
I think so. No, didn't like Cassie's mom get on the stand or something like that?
The whole Diddy thing is just like Don Richards got on there, and like I said, it's not looking as people want to. I feel like they're trying to put more emphasis on the freak off. And I just want to say this. I need a better explanation of a sex trafficking. And I'm trying to figure out how this is going to connect to a RICO case. I feel like the definition of sex trafficking has evolved over like the last year whenever they were trying to do like a couple cases and stuff. Because I feel like if sex trafficking is how they're describing it, I feel like a lot of people are going to jail for sex trafficking. If sex
Right.
trafficking is sending somebody out for the intent of sex, all you got to say is I had sex with somebody and then they sex trafficked you. I feel like it's when, you know, how when we got older, a lot of times you would go out and you would drink with the intent to have sex until you found out that consent was both people had to be sober and say yes. But it's not like women didn't drink with dudes to get drunk and have drunk sloppy sex. So,
Right.
but to hear like if you're in that, you're no longer in your right mind, it kind of takes
Even if
the
you preemptively say we gonna go out, get drunk, and have sex tonight,
I,
as two
but
sober people.
I just feel like I said, but even from there, I just feel that the definition is taking a turn from what you were brought up to believe certain aspects of doing things were like I said, sex trafficking to me, I can only think of takers when they took his daughter and was about to sell her, like being sold like a sex slave. So now it's taking this definition. I just feel like when stuff changes, like grooming, all of a sudden grooming done changed over the last couple years to where now people say it as if we've always known grooming to be what it is, and people speak of it with such with such certainty that it's just kind of comical when somebody finds out a word, these niggas turn into Dr. Umar or Michael Eric Dyson of words, putting your name on a cup of Starbucks. So yeah, those are just some updates from what we did last time. We got the Eastern Conference Finals coming up right now. The Timberwolves are playing OKC. You'll know the results by the time the episode comes out, who won. And we got the Knicks versus the Pacers. Has this been one of the most interesting and jam-packed, star-studded Eastern and Western Conference Finals that we've had in a long time? And who are you rooting for?
Go Knicks. I hate the Pacers. Everybody know I'm from Indiana. I've always hated the Pacers. Go Knicks. But no, it's interesting with the Eastern Conference Finals in general because this is a rematch from last year. It wasn't this deep into the playoffs, both teams, but the Pacers came out on top due to like the Knicks having injuries and just being out coached and everything like that. But yeah, I don't like the Pacers. Never liked the Pacers. The only way I'll ever like the Pacers is if they draft Cashton. But yeah, go Knicks. I like the. In all seriousness, I like the matchups at each position. Pause. Um, I feel like Tyrese Halliburton is about to have a long series because he can't guard anybody except for Jalen Brunson, and he can't guard Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is about to have 25 to 35 points a game in this series. And if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong later, but I feel like that's a fair prediction. Um, as far as the big man matchups, with Mitchell Robinson being healthy, Miles Turner is about to have a long series, but he's also gonna stretch the floor on the other end. Um, but I don't expect him to get any rebounds. Like I don't expect him to have any like double digit rebound nights or anything like that. He's not really a rebounding big man anyway. Um, who else? Whoever's guarding OG Anunoby, it's over with for them. Let's see. I'm interested to see how they contain Pascal Siakam. I feel like the Pacers are going to have to heavily rely on him this series because I feel like the Knicks' defensive strategy, especially with their guard play on the defensive end, is gonna really occupy Tyrese Halliburton. They're gonna put him through the ringer. So I feel like they're gonna rely on Pascal Siakam and his athleticism and his scoring ability. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be a fun series. I got it going 6 games. What do you think?
I I have it going 7. Just for like I just feel like as long as there's no injuries in it, I just feel like the competition one will probably get a game in each people's home state, and then the weight of each people's home arena will probably start to get both teams. So I feel like they'll do what they need to do at home and then have a thrilling game 7. I just feel like that's how it's kind of gone. I feel like both of them kind of took their both of them kind of took it to the brinks for each one to a certain extent. I still feel like the Knicks had to go through too many games for Boston, even though Boston lost Jason Tatum. And then the Pacers, who the Pacers played? The Pacers played
They have Milwaukee in the first round.
Milwaukee.
And,
And Milwaukee was easier for them, but there was no Dame. So I just felt like
have in the second round.
the second round. No, they played Milwaukee first, right?
Yeah, they played Milwaukee in the first round and the second round.
The second round they played
Cleveland. Yeah,
Cleveland. They blew Cleveland ass out. So
Nobody expected that shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. So for the second round, they blew them out. Pause. Um, I just feel like it will probably go to 7, just because both teams have kind of a similar build when you go through it. Miles Turner for Carl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson for Tyrese Halliburton. Then you got Josh Hart cancels out with OB. You got Pascal Siakam cancels out with Miles Bridges. However you want to interplay them, even though that Pascal Siakam is more like should be a number one, but is playing a number two role. But they have enough people to cancel out. They got OG. They got a great bench. I just feel like there's a lot of it to where you just can't one way or the other. But I feel like it'll go one game or the other based off of where they're at, because they'll be at home, or like you shoot better when you're at home. As far as the Western Conference, I think I'm gonna go with the Thunder. I mean, not the Thunder. I hate the Thunder. I'm going with the Timberwolves. I feel like this is just Ant's time. I feel like for Ant to get back to the Western Conference Finals, I feel like what he did last time, and I just feel like his poise and everything like that will be what takes him over. That he's been there before. I see that it worked out for both parties, the trade, so that would be good to probably see them both in the finals. But I just feel like Ant, Julius Randle, Nas Reed, Jalen Daniels, Steven DiVincenzo, all of them are just clicking right now. Rudy Gobert Rudy picks up when he needs to. So I just feel like, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Wolves. I'm going with the T Wolves in 6. Who are you going with?
I got the T Wolves in 6 as well. Well, no, I got it going 7 games, but I got the Wolves going. Just because like they may not match up with the Wolves that great, but that OKC team has shown like some dog like energy over these past few seasons, man. They just a young dog team, and you can really never count them out. So I got them taking at 7, especially since they got home court advantage. Uh, but I feel like as far as like the big men go, they're completely outmatched. I don't like Rudy Gobert, but he is going to be a rebounding machine this series. Um, and then it's going to come down to who has a better night between Ant and SGA each game. The role players, excuse me, the role players are going to do their thing. Jaden McDaniels, Nas. You got Chet Holmgren, who's healthy. If Chet Holmgren stay, and that's why I got it going 7 games, because if Chet Holmgren is healthy, then OKC still has a chance, because they're not only dependent on Shea and Jalen Williams. But yeah, as long as everybody's healthy, it's going to be a long series. But I like the Wolves in 7 just because I feel like they're just the more equipped and better team.
Don't quote me on it. I just feel like every time I say this, the opposite comes up. But I just feel like when Shea can't go to the line 12,000 times, how is that going to predicate? Because I feel like Jaden Daniels does a lot of great on ball defense. I feel like Nas Reed is a great on ball defender. And so I feel like those other guys, like Jalen Williams, I hate his stupid ass, but Jalen Williams and all them, and then Chet Holmgren, just to me, Chet Holmgren is a major, major disappointment. Well, he plays about what I thought he is, but I just feel like, to me, I feel like Chet Holmgren is a very just frail ass white boy. I feel like he is why I say kids need to play dual sports. I don't like his frame. I don't like his build. I feel like he's too small to be as tall as he is. I like Lou Dort for OKC, but like I said, because of his size, Steven Adams would have probably worked well for a team like this, just to push Rudy Gobert out. I mean, he could be soft as shit. He could have Whopper Jr. hands, whatever you want to call it, but he's still 7 feet, and 7 feet is 7 feet. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, whatever you want to sit there and say, 7 feet is 7 feet. So I'm not going to discredit that.
Chet is another KD to me. Like he model, you can see that he clearly models his game after KD. He may not be as like he may not have as like a high basketball IQ as KD just yet, but you can see shades of KD in Chet Holmgren now. So I won't count him out like that. But I don't think he's there yet. Like he's not gonna put a team on his back. You know what I'm saying? Every game, like throughout the series, like he can give you one or two games where he gonna come from the shadows and just be a dog. But I don't feel like he's consistent enough just yet. But
The
like I
only
said,
KD, the
with
only KD that nigga is Kyle Dillingham. That's the only KD I see that nigga is. Other than that, I don't see any shades of Kevin Durant. And I don't even see him
Kevin
as
Durant, dude.
Jace. I don't even see him at shades of the nigga that played likeness of Kevin Durant and what's it called? Swagger. Okay. He ain't no Jace. So anyway, so no, not at all. So I don't see that at all. That's a difference. But you can have that.
I like that series though. And Minnesota is up 40-36 right now, right before halftime, as we speak.
Yeah, I'm
Wolves,
looking at it. I'm looking at I got it on the screen.
Wolves and
I got it on the
Celtics.
screen over here. So like I said, so we can stick to basketball, but it's not gonna be that take. So, ladies, y'all can come back to the podcast now. The niggas is done talking about sports. I want to shift it to WNBA. We had Angel Reese play Caitlin Clark, and at this point, people, to me personally, I'm not calling that shit a rivalry no more. I kind of stopped calling it one the year before, but the Fever beat the hell out of the Sky. The most controversial thing happening was a take foul that got upgraded to a flagrant foul call by Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry, Angel flagrant foul that Caitlin Clark did to Angel Reese. We all know why it got highlighted and got observed the way it did, because it was Caitlin Clark doing something to Angel Reese. Start a lot of chatter online, which it usually always does between the two. I want to know your take, just like 20 seconds on the game, because I mean, Caitlin Clark got a triple double. They got their ass whooped. Not really too much to speak on it, but we're in year 2 of the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese era. And do you feel that at this point we're
Um,
forcing to be a
I
thing?
I feel exactly that way. We forcing it because in reality we in year 4 of
Pause.
it. Nice setup. But no, that's exactly how I feel because we really in year 4 of it because this has carried on since they were both in college. It's just basketball, bro. Like we seen that they could be cool with each other when they both made the All Star game. So let this shit die, bro. Just when they play each other, they play each other. Nobody is gonna be friends between those lines like all competitive basketball players say. But outside of that, everybody cool. Everybody respect each other. So just let it go.
So a lot of the stuff that was made of it, I feel like this is an aspect I get. Caitlin Clark is hands down the better player. It's not even like a debate. I feel like what I don't like from this is a part about Angel Reese personality I don't like. I feel like a lot of the stuff that Angel Reese gets, Angel Reese also asked for it in the back end. You see, Asia Wilson to me, I feel like is the face of the WNBA, but I feel like the most popular player is Caitlin Clark. And I feel like it'll be a couple more years before she'll be the most popular and the face of the WNBA. But with that being said, Angel Reese does get a lot of chatter because Angel Reese always has something to say back to the people and the naysayers. It just so happens that a lot of eyes have turned to the WNBA, and it's causing people to maybe be a little bit more harsh than she had probably anticipated. For Angel Reese to want to sit there and play the I'll be the villain if you want me to, do you feel like it's real hypocritical how she's always getting playing the role of like y'all making it this way, y'all making it that way, when she's countless times been in situations to where she could have walked away and then the she would be like the Asia Wilsons who you don't see any coverage on. She would be like the what's the girl name from the Wings who played with Dallas? I mean, who played with huh?
Enrique.
Enrique. She would be like the Enrique. She would be like the even though she kind of controversial, what's her name? Skylar Diggins. She would be like Rakia Jackson. She would be like all these other players who are just quiet, but she's going on these runs. She's doing everything. She's playing both sides of the fiddle. Do you feel like that she is getting exactly what she asked for and she wasn't prepared for the role? Or do you feel like it's unjustified by some of the criticism that comes Angel Reese's way?
Um, I feel like she's getting what she asked for. I don't feel like it's affecting her negatively like everybody may think it is. Um,
Well,
just
no, I
like
mean, when you missed the shot, I mean, it ain't
yeah,
affecting your game
it's
because you was gonna miss the shot whether you was a
yeah,
villain of the WNBA or
yeah.
not, because you needed that rebound.
They talk about Angel. They talk about everything Angel Reese related except for her game. You know what I'm saying? They talk even when she's in the game. They talk about all right. Well, how's she gonna feel about being on the court with Caitlin Clark again or whoever she may be a rival of. But they talk about everything except for how she plays the game. And when she does have a breakout game, a fire ass game, it gets like 5 minutes worth of coverage. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you highlight the negative and you give you know you shine a little bit of light on what she actually does. Like she obviously made it to the WNBA for a reason. She can hoop. She is not as well rounded of a hooper as a Caitlin Clark or a Enrique or a Skylar or Asia Wilson or anything like that. But she can hoop. You know what I'm saying? So, but she also put herself in the spotlight with how she markets herself and everything like that. So she's getting what she asked for. I kind of agree with her. Like I'll be the villain if you want me to because that's what y'all gonna talk about anyway. And the more y'all talk about me, the more light is shined on me and the more money I get because I know how to market myself. You know what I'm saying? So she's getting what she asked for, but I don't think it's like taking a mental or physical toll on her. Like I think she likes the spots that she's in. So
So some chatter that came up about it. First off, I want to say this also. As much as they say it is a villain thing or it does turn to something with Angel Reese, I want to sit there and say this just to the casual women WNBA supporters. Y'all only tune into it when it's this bullshit or when it's something about girls dating each other. Y'all don't tune in for the games. So as much as this is going on, Angel Reese had a great season. It was nowhere near Caitlin Clark's season, but Angel Reese had a great season. But the only time that y'all chimed in on Angel Reese was when it was Caitlin Clark related, and that's just from that baddies loving hip hop mentality. Did that? If it's not drama, y'all aren't tuned into the sport. So I feel like if you're not going to be tuned into the sport, do not criticize and try to bring in that as a black woman stuff because a lot of this stuff the niggas go through this hell. Let Jalen Jamal Murray have a bad game. There's a picture of a gay guy online that they say with Jamal Murray when I need him. Or let a NBA player fuck up your parlay and the ridicule that comes with it. Malik Beasley, when he played for the Lakers, said he was getting death threats to his family because he was missing all them threes for the Lakers. He goes to Milwaukee, he goes to Detroit. He's the number one 3-pointer in the league, one of the 3-point shooters in the league. Guys, get this. This comes with the NBA. This comes with being a professional athlete. This comes with it. The only person that really got cheered on Steve Smith was fucking that nigga's wife. But other than that, like this comes with NBA territory. And I feel like what's really messing up the game is people that don't watch the sport trying to come in here with these think pieces. It reminds me when Dion left Jackson State and everybody wanted to make it a race thing, how he can help HBCUs. But if you paid attention to it, none of the top athletes go to HBCUs for their schools that they go to college for because they're under financed, they're underdeveloped, they don't have the program, the resources, and they don't have the reach to get you to the next level for the NFL. Whether you want to support Howard, whether you want to support Tennessee State, whether you want to support any of these HBCUs, they don't have the resources that a Duke, that a North Carolina, that a Tennessee, that a
that a power
USC will have. Huh?
I said that a Power 5 or PWI would have.
Correct. They don't have that. So that's why when you're coaching at these schools, your goal is to get to the other. Yes, Dion got people to pay attention to Jackson State, but that's Eddie George was at Tennessee State. Ain't nobody pay attention to him. Nobody was about to be looking at Grambly when Ed Reed was there. And they're not caring about that. But you're paying attention to Warren Sapp and everybody when they are on those teams. So I say that to say it's the same thing with Angel Reese and all them now. Y'all not paying attention to the games because Caitlin Clark got the fuck beat out of her last year, and she got it on a nightly basis. Some of them plays, and they talking about that was a flagrant foul. It's one play where a motherfucker ran into her without even making an attempt. Like it was just like she was just playing freeze tag or something like that with her hip and just knocked her out. Angel Reese has did flagrant foul.
Her to the league.
Exactly. They welcomed the hell out of her to the league. And it's just we could see when you guys watch it. There was a player on the Fever that got super hip checked by somebody on the I don't know what team it was, but it might have been it couldn't have been the Sky, but Caitlin Clark wasn't playing it. They're chippy in the WNBA. So a lot of these fouls shouldn't mean nothing to y'all, but come and support the women who need it. They're about to have a strike for a pay raise. They need all the support that they can get. They don't need these bullshit think pieces about the game that they trained all their life for, and you coming up here talking about the plight of Black people. That's a separate conversation. It's an important conversation. It's not needed for views and for sponsorships and to get the WNBA out of debt, which they're in debt. So pay attention to that when y'all sitting up there doing these. Angel Reese doesn't need you to defend her. She can defend herself over Caitlin Clark. She needs y'all to support and come genuinely watch the WNBA because a lot of people have daughters. Y'all daughters may want to play sports, and you should be able to support other things besides bullshit and arguments and controversy. That's just my take on it. So
it's real, like it's genuinely competitive in the WNBA. That's my last thing on it. It's just genuinely competitive because you're not gonna have, the high flyers or anything like that. It's just they base it off of coaching and just raw talent. Like it's just competition, bro. It's fun to watch.
yeah, and what's so out of this, unfortunately, it did spark some bullshit. It sparked a debate between Ryan Clark and RG3. I wanted to make sure I got it right, so I wasn't just shooting off the hip. So I have the tweet from RG3 that really sparked it all. This is what I say. The first thing RG3 did wrong, nigga. You made a video. It was no reason for you to write this long ass book. I get it. You pay for the extra Twitter fee to type how many letters you want to. This long ass 15-page paragraph was not needed. Okay, so Robert Griffin III writes, Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. It's starting to show all over her face. I'm not reading this entire tweet, but y'all can get the gist. But he basically wrote a tweet saying that you can see the jealousy in her eyes after she goes and tries to punch Caitlin Clark after routine. After anything that happens to Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese overly celebrates. She says some people are uncomfortable when she says Angel Reese hates or is jealous of Caitlin Clark because of the complex racial history in America and the hysterical stereotypes of the angry or jealous Black woman. He says, I understand that. Angel Reese isn't just some jealous Black woman. She is an NCAA champion, a great basketball player. She is a competitor who has shown that she does not like how Caitlin Clark is crowned while she is criticized for showing the same confidence and fire in her own way. That is not an assumption. That is what Angel Reese has said and shown us all. And yes, that can turn into hate, jealousy, and resentment that makes the rivalry real to a lot of viewers. Caitlin Clark is the most popular athlete in America. Angel Reese is Isaiah Thomas to Caitlin Clark's Michael Jordan. That was your second foul. Now, Ryan Clark shouldn't have said shit to you, but Isaiah Thomas should have whooped your motherfucking ass. All right. Don't you ever disrespect Isaiah Thomas and compare him to Angel Reese. If people will hear me say that, y'all need to go see how great Isaiah Thomas was. Okay. And he had every right to be mad at Michael Jordan, but Angel Reese is in no way, shape, hell, anywhere in the same stratosphere. And Caitlin Clark ain't even in the same stratosphere as Michael Jordan. But hell no. No, so that was your second one. Angel Reese has beat Caitlin Clark, but has never outshined her. Even when Angel won the national championship, the first lady wanted to see her and Caitlin Clark at the White House. Over time, the hate and resentment has built up from all this. You can see it over her reaction. After watching the Caitlin's flagrant foul on Angel Reese in the aftermath, there's no way Angel can continue to lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin. I know that what hatred looks like, and Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. This is what Ryan Clark said about this is what Robert Griffin said about uh Angel Reese. So I get his point. He's just basically saying, because if you look at a track record, like I said, Angel Reese, whenever it's Caitlin Clark, she said everybody's gonna remember Caitlin Clark brought people to the WNBA, but I brought people too. So I can see what it said. It's like a jealous hate, how her overreaction when anything happened to Caitlin Clark, she jumping up and down. It seems like it's disdain because people attach anything that Angel Reese does to Caitlin Clark, but it's not vice versa. It's anything Caitlin Clark does, she stands alone, but anything Angel Reese does is always an attachment to it, which fuels for jealousy and hate. Yes, Caitlin Clark did this when she beat Haley Van Lave, but Angel Reese was vilified because she walked down. Now that was a little excessive. Like you think about it, a couple years at the time, it was hype. At the time, talk your shit. But as you see the player Caitlin is, it just to me it just seems excessive. But Caitlin Clark got a dog. She ain't no like soft puppy. But like to chase her down, and then show and flash the finger, like the ring finger in it. Even when she said it, she said she did it because they disrespected South Carolina. So you did it for a purpose. And the whole problem is when you do stuff, she just tries to code what she does in some type of positive reasoning when it's all catty bullshit. Like it's all catty, like bullshit that comes over, and it's that love and hip hop shit. Like I said, I just feel that she gets in that in that aura of falling for it and then trying to scapegoat or make it seem like it's not when we're watching it. It'd be different if it was behind closed doors. But anyways, after he says that, Ryan Clark, of course, felt like he needed to say something. And he said this about Robert Griffin III.
To being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right? The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men.
And so I'm gonna just end it right there for the gist of it. At that point when he brought in the wives, it kind of turned into a different situation between RG3, Robert Griffin III, and Ryan Clark. At this point, it turned into a line cross, who can speak on what, who can say something, and now it turned back into a racial issue. The question I have for you is one of the topics I had. If you are, my first question is, before I ask you the first one, who was in the wrong, and was Ryan out of bounds or was RG3 out of bounds?
I don't think I'll say this. RG3 was wrong in his take, as far as thinking that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. She may hate the scrutiny that comes around the narratives and everything like that, but I don't think she hate Caitlin Clark. I agree with Ryan on that. Like he said, it's just competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you said earlier, certain shit gets highlighted more than you know regular shit. So I think RG3 is wrong in thinking that Angel Reese is a hater of Caitlin Clark's. I don't think that's the case at all. I also don't think that Ryan Clark crossed any lines. He just pointed out a fact. You know what I'm saying? Especially like he just said, he's had a conversation with one of RG3's wives, and he's just saying that I don't think you're having this conversation. Like you're not defending Black women to your white wife. He didn't say anything disrespectful about his wife or nothing like that, or his family, like RG3 was saying. But that's also a sensitive topic for anybody that's married or is real sensitive about their family. Like don't speak on my household. Period. Because I didn't speak on nothing about yours. I didn't speak on these young ladies' households or anything like that. I just spoke on what might be their mindset. Um, but yeah, I don't think I'm on Ryan Clark's side in this one because he didn't take a shot. He didn't take a dig at him. You know what I'm saying, pause. He didn't really say you can't say that because you a bunny hopper like Dr. Umar would say. He just said, bro, you just not having these conversations, and I know you're not because it shows when you're parading and everything like that, and your wife is in the background, like you basically being an Uncle Tom or Steven from Django or something like that. Like you just steady advocating for these white people and everything like that, or your wife's white skin and everything, instead of saying like you're not being supportive or objective. Like you being all the way biased because your wife is white.
I feel like my take on it is I was sitting up there thinking about it, and then I really kind of thought about it. I felt like I don't disagree with RG3's take. The more and more I thought about it, I just felt like, what has Angel Reese done that signifies anything different than there being a problem? We can take out the hate, we can do this, but it being a problem. When you want to get up and fight the girl, I mean, you just add to the lineage. When somebody asks you at the beginning of the segment, I get it. It's annoying to talk about her, but you may not hate Caitlin Clark for something Caitlin Clark's done. You probably hate Caitlin Clark by the narrative and everything that your name has been put to it. Certain ways that you get hyped when she get beat down or pressed down, or you sit up there saying certain people got special whistles when they get flagrant fouls versus you. She's made a lot of comments on a lot of things that are it, and I feel like she could hate Caitlin Clark because of the negative press that's brought Angel Reese. I don't think that she hates her in a personal way. I just think from a basketball standpoint, from what it is in the league, I don't think she thinks about Caitlin Clark outside of her lives other than what people bring to it. And I also feel like I don't agree with Ryan Clark's take. I don't feel like this is one of them things where you had to sit there and be a black woman to understand like the plights of anything, because
Yeah.
Aja Wilson is a black woman and she isn't going through anything right now. Angel Reese is going through certain things. Rakia Jackson isn't going through anything. Arike isn't going through anything. Skylar Diggins, depend on the night. But Aaliyah Boston ain't going through nothing. Those are all black female characters. Trinity Carter ain't going through nothing. Um what's her name that plays, I can't think of her name right now. She used to play for the Aces. Now she plays for the Fever. But yeah, it's plenty of black women in the league. It's just Angel. So I feel like to sit there and have it to where he can't have conversations because his wife is white and she's cheering in the background. I just felt like that was such an unnecessary left take, and I feel like this is what Ryan Clark do. I feel like Ryan Clark be putting on this Captain Save or whatever cape on, is whatever you want to do for this, because when he sat there and did that shit about Andrew Schultz, I feel like he speaks on the hip before he actually gets a chance to go speak to people, and he makes his opinion thinking he has to go out there and do stuff. How do we even know Angel Reese is having them conversations with, like her, anybody else? Because we've known that when Angel Reese was attacked, people stood behind Angel Reese. I feel like Angel Reese's problem is that when Angel Reese wants to take on the villain role, but then also wants to tell you how it's hurting her feelings. Nobody's saying that's not a problem, but you can't have it both ways. You can't sit there and say it's too much. You can't sit there and say it's whatever, but then you also want to take on the role of being hated. That's what hated is. If you look at John Cena when he decided to go heel, even though it was fake, everybody booed John Cena. He can't sit there and say, "Oh my gosh, can you guys not boo me as I sit there and do something heel?" That's not how going heel works. And I feel like she signed up for something, running her mouth, not prepared what came with it. Well, I feel like with the Ryan Clark stuff, you bringing in this man's wife had nothing to do. He never said anything about the black issue. It was all sports related and everything that RG3 said. So why I disagree with both of y'all is because nothing about that was race related. It was all sports takes.
And
It
I'll
was
say,
all it was a sports article written with sports takes that were sports laced from a sports all American, all state Heisman winning athlete himself. So he's credited. He has the credentials to talk.
yeah,
And I feel like the route that Ryan took it, which is like I said, that love and hip hop shit earlier, what all y'all care about is coming for the media. This isn't a black
talk
woman.
about everything but the game.
That's what I'm saying. You talking about everything but, and his wife and everything, and about how he did corny stuff. I just felt like that was out of bounds. I feel like you could have kept it on par. And Ryan's issue is when he has a problem with somebody, he has to pivot. I feel like because he's learned how to speak in a calm tone and speak eloquently, he feels that he can get away with just saying snarky stuff and saying he's doing it in defense of people. And I feel like that's what this was right now. I don't feel like I agree with the hate, and damn sure didn't agree with the um the length pause of that long ass tweet or the Isaiah Thomas comparison. But
Pause.
make sure give myself one. But I feel that it was just out of bounds with that rhetoric of bringing in his wife. So I wanted to ask you, do you feel that if you married outside of your race, does that disqualify for you speaking on issues that happen to be or cause some type of issue in the black community?
No, not as long as you advocating for your people and you telling, like, if you're married outside of your race, I would expect you to have had that conversation with your partner of the other race. Uh, like on both ends. Like I would expect, if my wife is white, I would expect her to tell me how her upbringing was, what she struggled with, and everything like that. And then I expect her to hear me out as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that disqualifies you because I've seen I know personally and I've seen publicly interracial couples who have where the white partner has advocated for the black partner. You know what I'm saying? Because they have seen their struggle or they grew up in it with them. They just had their white privilege to protect them. I don't think it disqualifies you if you're somebody that's just being an Uncle Tom, a Nat Turner, or something like that, and you're just being ignorant to the fact that you are black, whether you're a woman or a man, the fact that you are black, then I think that disqualifies you. Like, who has what's the lady Candace Owens? Her husband is white. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people ridicule her for that, but she's had that conversation. I've seen a couple of her interviews where she's had that conversation with her husband and everything like that. She may have the takes that she has. She may have the opinions that she has. I don't advocate for her, but I'm just using her as an example. Uh, but I don't think that disqualifies you automatically. What disqualifies you is not educating your partner on what's going down, or just being obtuse to what's right in front of your face. Like if you're purposely being ignorant, then that disqualifies you. And I will say back to the RG3 thing, as far as Angel hating Caitlyn, I feel like, and I've seen Angel react that way to multiple players in the league last season and in the unrivaled league. It's not just Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to the current topic, I don't think that disqualifies you. What would disqualify you is not educating your partner on everything that's been going on.
I'll say this: if you dated outside the race, it depends on what you saying in them comments as we're talking about it. So if you decided to go date you a white woman, you can't come in talking about black women ain't shit. If you start, it depends on what you're saying in those topics. I feel like if you date outside the race or get married outside the race, I say married. Let's just say married. If you get married outside the race, I feel like there's certain stances that you can't take, and you just need to accept that. I feel like when you decide to date outside the culture and start a family that's outside of it, certain aspects of emphasis, I feel like you lose that right to sit there and be overly critical. You can't be the type of nigga that talks down upon black people or anything about what we're doing because your ass left. You took the
Right.
easy route instead of improving it. You're just sitting up there criticizing when you the one who left. So I'm not going to sit there and give you a pass as if, because I feel like at that point when you leave it, I feel like now you're talking about like as if you're better than us. But I'm not going to exclude your blackness off of that because I don't know what you went through. So I'm not going to just sit there and say that you never went through anything as a black man. You just fell in love with who you fell in love with. It could have just been outside of the race. So that's my stance on it. So that's why I'll leave it there. My last question, well, last topic I want to give before we go out there. I saw an interesting story. 10 inmates from New Orleans jail escaped. And 4 of them have been caught so far. I wanted to get your take on it so far. I want to get your take on it. Have you heard the story?
I've been seeing it floating around on Facebook, like who's most
Yeah.
likely to get caught
Yeah, who's
next.
most likely? There's a parlay between it. Everybody got Derek going last. If you haven't seen it, but what's your take on the inmates escaping jail out of coming from a former escapee himself? What's your take on this whole escapee thing?
How did 10 niggas escape from jail at the same time, bro?
They have the hole that they paused. They have the hole that they escaped out of and all ran through. And I think it's like they left a sign saying this shit too easy or some shit like that. Um, I don't know what's the updated count. I know for sure that they caught 4 of them because they had
I
the
was about to say
mugshots
the
of them.
last one I seen, 4 of them was caught.
4 of them was caught. Some of them made it seem like they caught like 8 of them. But I just want to know, like, when that happens to you, how the fuck are y'all getting caught within like a day or so? Like one nigga got caught on the bench sleeping. Um, like it's a reason why that they don't feed you in jail the food that you're supposed to get out there and eat in real life with the nutrients and balance, because we don't want shit like this to happen and you have the extra strength to run to another town. So go ahead.
I don't know who gonna get caught next, but I remember the face of one of them niggas, and he was looking shook in the motherfucking mug shot, like he was looking like, Like he was scared to be there, like he wasn't gonna last long. Whenever that nigga get caught, everybody getting caught because that nigga is telling on it. Everybody.
This is probably the funniest one I've seen. Read it. Tell me if you can read it. Hold on.
Let's see.
It
Cleveland.
says, aunt of Derek Glove's New Orleans jail escapee convicted of killing 4 people asked him to safely turn himself in. This a nigga. The caption on Facebook gonna say, I would have called my auntie private and said, shut the fuck up before you be number 5 and hang up.
Before you be victim number 5, goddamn it.
Yeah, I just feel like that is like an episode of like Scooby Doo and music is playing and y'all running through like all them doors. Some of y'all going back and forth. The escape jail. First off, the warden's getting fired. Let's just get that out the way. You lose one nigga. Okay. If you ever lost a kid in the mall and you see how the looks and shit like that they give you when you lose a kid in the mall, it's not my mother has lost me at the mall. Yeah, she's lost me at the mall. I was like 7. Yes, I was 7. I was playing a prank on my mom, and I was like, she was walking, and so I hid back a little bit, and so I literally saw her for like all of 2 seconds, and next thing I know, she was gone. So I was stuck in Dillard's for about 35 minutes. My mom couldn't find me, and then so I was like, you would have thought I was in the jungle or something. Day 5, and I ended up twisting my ankle, so I ended up hiding in the clothes rack. Go ahead.
That's what you asked. First of all, did she really lose you, or did she know your little badass was doing some shit on purpose and she just left?
Oh no.
She really lost.
She lost me because the there he is right here and the ass whooping that preceded. That's another thing. Okay. Yeah, black as a certain youth, I still don't understand why niggas be against whooping people now, but as a kid in the early 90s, black ass whoopings never really went with the emotion that was found. Like if you ever did something and your parents cried and said, "Thank God you okay," an ass whooping followed. Like it doesn't like they would be so happy. Like let's just say you got lost or you got something happened to your school shooting or something like that, and you come back home, your parents will give you a hug and tell your ass, didn't I tell you to not be hanging with that boy? Like you would just like the ass whooping. So I got a whooping for being 7 and playing a prank and getting lost. But it was play lost. It was play lost, but then I got real lost. So in the act of getting real lost, I got an ass whooping I feel like I don't deserve. Back to the story. I feel like you lose 10 niggas. So many people are getting fired. How do you lose more than 5? First of all, where the fuck were these 10 niggas at that they all got out at a certain time? And then
the whole guard staff, nigga, every guard is gone.
I just feel like at what point, like when y'all did this, did it click to y'all like, what do we do next? Like, I just don't know. Like, when y'all had this plan going, it's just like, did y'all just get to the middle of the intersection, be like, oh, this is it, guys. As much as I thought about this, because you know you're on the run for the rest of your life. Like, I mean, y'all was in New Orleans at that point. You was at least by somewhere you could swim to like the Gulfport or something. But y'all just really just got to the middle of the street and was like, all right, guys, well, hopefully I don't see you back in cell block D.
Let's split up, gang.
Yeah. You two go this way. I'll go with Velma. You go with Shaggy. What the fuck? I just feel like I said, it's just a funny story. How the fuck do you lose 10 people?
Niggas is fired.
How the fuck do you lose 10 killers? I'm talking about, I looked at them rap sheets. None of them niggas was in for petty larceny. None of them niggas was in for nothing under killing. So you didn't just lose. You had niggas from Hydra out there. Okay, you had some you had 10 winter soldiers out in that motherfucker. The body count on them niggas, that's 10. The body count on them niggas alone was 500. Okay, so like
that prison gets shut down and every inmate in that motherfucker is getting transferred to OKC, and that's the worst prison in America. That man, whoever the fucking warden is, and all the fucking guard staff, y'all got to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get y'all the fuck up out of here. Street
That's that,
sweepers. Street sweepers coming through. But yeah, I thought that was funny. 4 of them going. We're gonna be doing live breaks, interruptions, and everything from our Gumbo Gumbo search and rescue. All right. Mitch, you got anything going now?
Nah, man, just tune in every week. 8 more than 92, man. You already know what's going on. We're keeping it 100.
Appreciate y'all. This has been another episode of 8 More 92 Podcast where we always keep it 100. We're gonna holler at y'all later. Peace. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of the 8 More 92 Podcast where we always keep it 100. You heard none of them sound effects, did you?
Nah. Hey. Told y'all niggas I was gonna keep it street.
Oh, the how you coming, Glock?
Pause.
Okay.
It's the 8 More 92 Podcast. You know how we do. We always keep it 100.
Yeah.